you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
When your car needs trusted care, think All Around Auto Body in Schaumburg. Family owned for over 30 years, they deliver high-quality collision repair and dependable service from start to finish. Call 847-352-3825. They're located at 501 Morse Avenue in Unit D. Get your vehicle back in shape with the experts who care. All Around Auto Body, where your car is treated like family. Call 847-352-3825 today. Proud sponsors of America's First Responders Fest.
Welcome in, everybody, here to the Elgin Chamber Chat on the fourth Tuesday of every month here on WRMN AM 1410. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. And, of course, thank you, as always, Kara, for coming in today with guests.
Hey, Matt. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having us. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. You ready to start out a busy day?
Oh, yes.
Exciting. Well, it looks like we are on our way to a little bit of warmth coming up this week, so that's a nice thing. Our condolences to everyone on the East Coast, New York and Boston. Oh, my gosh, I got pictures from my niece in Boston, and there has to be like 4 feet of snow outside of her 3 flat. The kids love it, of course, but I'm so glad that we aren't having to deal with that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's a pleasure today to be here with Chamber Chat. This is our monthly program, and thanks to WRMN, you're so gracious in giving us this monthly broadcast. We love coming down and talking about business, and so today we're going to focus on a couple of businesses, one familiar with many folks, Side Street Studio Arts, and there's Tanner taking his hat off. Tanner, because we're on Facebook Live too, so you
Tanner
can
just
wave.
finished
Tanner.
working. 10 seconds ago, he was working right up to the deadline.
That's right. So Tanner Melvin, Executive Director of Side Street Studio Arts, is with us today. Welcome. Glad to have you here.
Well, I appreciate it. Really, thank you so much. And hi, Matt. I just really appreciate the opportunity.
Good. And also Rick Poole with Edward Jones Investments. He's an advisor in the South Elgin office. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And it's going to be a fun conversation today. These guys are really engaged in a lot of different things. And Matt, I know maybe some of it's a little outside of your world. It certainly is. The creativity that Tanner has with his folks with Side Street is really exciting. So let's get on and talk about it. So Tanner, you're getting ready to celebrate 13 years with Side Street Studio Arts.
Yes.
Had you any idea when you started doing this a while ago?
Yes, 100%. No, I remember thinking 5 years was going to be a huge a marker, and then even 10 years, and now 10 years was during COVID, so it was just we just kept moving forward, and it doesn't seem like that long, but also when you really sit back and think about it, it's like, it seems like, it is lifetime almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty profound, the changes that you've made in a lot of artists' lives, right?
I think so. I do. I think so. I think that wasn't necessarily the goal when we first started out. When Aaron and I started in 2013, it was very bare bones. It was very minimal. And then we just wanted an opportunity and a place to explore and create. And then moving forward, we realized that very quickly, to be honest, that there was a major need, even further than we could see or forecast. And we had people literally knocking on our doors and asking to perform or asking to show or asking how to be involved. And we just grew it from there. This Side Street would not be around without our community. And it's absolutely the people in our community and communities that have shaped what we are today.
And how did it start? What's your background that led to Side Street? You and Aaron's background coming into starting this not-for-profit.
I'll try to be quick.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a very small town with very limited resources as an artist, and I was an artist from a very early age. My mother was a self-taught artist, so I was lucky enough to have opportunities with her being able to help, and even in elementary school and into junior high. Moving on, I went to university, or Western Illinois University for design and theater, and caught the bug for performance. I've been performing since I was like 8, I guess, 6, 7, 8, whatever. Aaron
is that the day of videotaping that Mom and Dad taped you on the piano stool, singing songs loud enough that Grandma and Grandpa loved him?
We were lucky enough to have a VHS recorder, a camcorder in like 1985, 86. And so we have videos of me being like a puppet or whatever, my dad moving me around, and playing. And I used to do stop motion with VHS tapes with my G.I. Joes and Matchbox cars and all of that. And so it's really been a part of my life in video as well, and editing, et cetera, but performing. Yeah. It's just something I love to do. And, meeting Aaron, I've known Aaron for a very long time, for like 20 plus years. And when we got back together, she's from Elgin, born and raised, she's a legacy. Her grandfather was George Vandervoort, who was the mayor and fire chief. And so she really wanted to bring something back to Elgin that she could help support and help grow. And she has a background in dance. She's been a dancer since she was born. She is a professor as well in dance studies and choreographer. And so when we got together, we were like, we could do something really cool. Let's see what we could do. And so we found this amazing space in downtown Elgin, and we fixed it up, and we started a gallery and performance space. And we wanted to be able to give back, and we did so immediately. And creating accessible space for artists and performers to be able to just come in and share and perform and to meet new people. And we're continuing to do that. We just did that last night at our Elgin Arts Happy Hour at Martini Room. And going up and just meeting new people that have just moved here one person had just moved here from Portland, Oregon, and another person, I believe, from Algonquin. So we are still meeting people that are just coming to Elgin for the arts specifically, which is great. And education, ECC always comes up too. So it's really amazing to see that. But yeah, it's all culminated into this animal that we have right now, and it's been great.
So Tanner, how are people finding out about you? How did not so much Portland, but Algonquin find out about you? Being Side Street Studio Arts.
I'm not the best in asking people about that, but a lot of it is social media, of course, and we wouldn't be here without the free opportunities that Facebook gave us early on. And we took advantage of all of that. But a lot of people, they find us through different organizations that we've worked with. They find us through our own social media. Our networking is we try to work with everybody. And we want to be able to share what we have and share our resources with other nonprofits and other groups here in Elgin. And people work with those groups, and then they hear about what we do. Then they just come in, they sniff around, and they're like, what are these people up to? These little weirdos. We say that affectionately. And then they come and they hang out and they see what we're doing, and then they meet other people. And it's a great opportunity for any artist that's just looking to, any performer, any person, that even, lover of the arts. We have so many people that come to these events that are they just love performance, they love art, they love community, and they might not be into everything. And that's why we try so hard to offer as many different opportunities as possible.
That's really what's so great about it is that, you're a central figure within this entire Fox Valley region. So you're drawing people from all over the place. And your background just is so fascinating to come into this world. I don't know, Matt, how about your background? Are you a creative kind of guy?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been kind of an artist.
Yeah.
In a way, taking art classes and theater and stuff. So,
yeah. It's wonderful to be able to engage in. And I think going back to what you said, the community plays well together, not just this community, our communities all around here play well together. And it's always interesting. and gratifying to be able to take an issue and go out and talk to the community about it and gather that support. So, and it's not just Elgin, it's certainly South Elgin. And Rick, you're in South Elgin. Your investment brokerage office is down there. And,
It is.
and you came to investments how through your career?
Well, I came to investments because after my sophomore year of college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, what am I going to do here? And he goes, just pick finance. If you can understand how money works, a lot of doors will open. I'm like, sounds good to me. So we chose finance. So that's how that originally started. But I started off my career in Pittsburgh. I was on the asset management side of our business, and I was a mutual fund wholesaler. That was the old school name for it. And so, in short, my job was to run around and help train financial advisors on mutual funds, then ETFs and portfolio design and all of the kind of boring machinations that goes on behind the scenes.
All the background kind of things, right?
All the things that are necessary. And then in 1996, I moved out to Chicago. I did the same thing out here. And I did that all the way through 2023. So 27 years of calling on financial advisors in the same area. And like with any sales job, you call on the same set of clientele for a really long time, that tends to work out okay. And so Edward Jones was my number one client. So I knew most of the advisors pretty darn well. And then in late 2023, a friend of mine and a friend of many, Taylor Garner, who built the office in South Elgin, sadly he passed from cancer at the age of 43. And my friends and his family, they asked me to come, would you like to come continue the practice? And
it was a well-established practice. Taylor had been doing it for quite a long time.
Yes,
and had
very successful.
Yeah, nice.
He was regional leader at the time, which in Edward Jones' world it's a big responsibility. He was truly beloved. And so after a few conversations, obviously I said yes. And the intimidating part of that was when you spend your whole career, helping train someone to do their job, and they're like, okay, let's see if any of that works. You come on over here, sit down, and see if you can do it. And so Angel, who is here, you can't see her on the camera, but she's right over here. She and I have been running that office now for the last 2 years.
And enjoying it?
75% enjoyment, 25% pure frustration.
How can that be? In the financial world?
Yeah. So here's the part that's great. Angel and I would agree on this. We love working with the clients. That is truly rewarding. We are also one of the most highly regulated industries on planet Earth for good reason. And so that part can be a challenge, not always fun. So that'd be the 25% part.
There you go. Sure.
But we have a great client list, and we have a ball doing it. So.
Well, that's good. That's important. Well, we appreciate you being here and all of your involvement in the communities as well. You really are just started and got involved immediately within the community, and perhaps you were doing that a little bit ahead of joining Edward Jones, but
a little bit, way more now.
That. Yes, way more now.
Thanks to you and some other friends that I've met.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about that. Your office is, we should probably give the address and phone number of your office if you wouldn't mind.
460 Briargate Drive, Suite 100. Phone number 847-289-6186. Right? Did I get that
Excellent.
right finally?
You did get it right.
I often find myself looking at my business card in order to figure that out.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but that's a great space. That's where Taylor was for the last 8 or 9 years. So, obviously that is where we are now. And so it's been a journey. When I walked in, obviously I hadn't met any clients. And as a wholesaler, I lived in Naperville. And so I was involved in the communities a little bit. But now I'm obviously very involved in this area between Rising Lights, CASA, Elgin Chamber, a little bit with the St. Charles Chamber as well.
And Seed, South Elgin.
Oh, yes, and Seed, South Elgin, Economic Development. I'm on the board.
Yeah, you are.
I am treasurer now
You
as well.
are.
Yes, very
The big deal.
Very important. So, yeah, that's been an absolute blast to get involved with the community like that. And each time, we go out and we do something, like I did met Tanner today. What he does, but we should just talk to him the whole time. What he's doing is far more fascinating than what we're doing. I think it's amazing. But, yeah, and this has worked out far better than I would have thought.
That's great. Well, that's the beauty behind our Chamber of Commerce and chambers all around the area. We are friends with all of them, especially when COVID started. I made calls from Cary Grove down to Batavia and said, hey, this is a challenge for all of us because we're known for networking, we're known for getting people together, and here comes COVID, and we can't do any of that. So how can we work together? So as a result of that, we continue to meet on a weekly basis online and plan a lot of different programs. And some of those programs involve, opportunities where you two perhaps never would have met had it not been for a chamber introduction. The creative world doesn't necessarily get along with the financial world, or those links aren't necessarily there. So we like to be able to open those doors and make introductions and help people network and expand their network along the way. And the same with Matt and bringing folks into the radio station every month. It really broadens your capacity to be able to deliver radio programming in a variety of different businesses in the community.
Absolutely. And I learned so much from each individual business too, which is great.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So as we move forward, Tanner, you're getting ready to celebrate a major anniversary with your not-for-profit organization, Side Street.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that.
We're turning 13 March 1st, technically. It's March 1st. We had, and then on first Friday, March 6th, we were hosting our 13-year anniversary exhibition called Year 13. We're very original for artists. I always think, we should rename it and do something cool, and I'm like, this is easy, Year 13. I don't know. And I think it does still lend a lot of weight to what we're trying to do. And so, first Friday, March 6th, from 6 to 10 p.m. at Side Street Studio Arts, we are hosting, we've been working with a breakdance crew for, and I'm just never going to get the name right.
Bringing the 80s back, Mike.
Yeah, I tell you what, we just did a residency in lacrosse schools in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and we've worked with them a number of times. It's one of Aaron's past professors, works in it's called Soda 1 in Hamilton Elementary, and I cannot say how much of a wonderful time it was to see those kids moving and being creative and working with the teachers. It was awesome. But yes, they are it's self-explanatory, breaking crew, and then we also have performances by Omar Garcia Jazz Trio. Some people might know Omar from Man Bites Dog. He was in that band, started that band, and then he is an amazing drummer, teaches private lessons as well. But yeah, we have, I believe it's 75 or might be 80 now, different participating artists in the exhibition, and which we're very proud of. It is a juried exhibition, and there will be a winner. And we ask everybody to come, and you can vote on all the artwork for best in show. We have a number of judges that we are still finalizing. We've had some issues with that because we've had some people that have, again, they've gotten COVID, or they and they're just not in a good place, and it's been very, very interesting. But yeah, we have a lot going on with that. Again, Friday, March 6th from 6 to 10 p.m.
And tell us where. I don't think we covered that before.
We're located at 15 Ziegler Court. There is now a beautiful fence in front of our building. So look for the beautiful brown fence, and you will find Side Street Studio Arts. We're located right across from, or right next to the where the train line used to come through. It's funny, like the building, we didn't find this out until like year 2 or 3. The building itself, it has a cool ghost sign on the south side of it. Aaron's dad actually signed up for the Air Force in this building.
No kidding.
And he can't remember, but it was in one of there's 15, 17, and 19. Those are the storefronts on Ziegler Court. And he went and signed up, and it's an Air Force ghost sign. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully the new owners of the building, I think, will hopefully keep that. That would be nice to see that. But yeah, we're located right there, and we will hopefully next year be located at our new building at 62 South Grove Avenue. We're working very hard on that.
Very exciting.
Yep.
So Ziegler Court, if people don't know about it, it is off of Spring Street.
It is right off of Chicago and Spring.
Yep. And it's kind of tucked back behind, so you don't necessarily see it from the street, but you do see it when you're parking and walking there.
Yeah.
So if you know where Al's Ice Creamery is, or Al's Cafe, Rediscover Records, Kitty
Corner,
shop
is around the corner
Vintage
too,
Shop,
so,
yep.
We're centrally
Space
located.
Lots. So yeah, right. So it's really tucked back in there, but it's an incredible space that that is available to them. But you've got a lot of growth going on, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So, it's exciting. And also, do your website, please, if you wouldn't mind, because I don't think that we covered that yet.
We are on the World Wide Web at www.sidestreetstudioarts.org.
Aren't we all glad we don't have to say those wwws anymore? I mean, I think we've all kind of graduated. So, Rick, you were talking about when you joined to the financial world in the 80s and EFTs. How has that world changed a little bit from 80s to today?
Back in the 80s, as far as investments went, so it was a lot of individual stock picking, which is a pretty tricky game. Mm-hmm. In fact, I get asked that reasonably often because I don't recommend individual stocks. And occasionally people will ask, well, why don't you do that? And the honest answer is if I had any idea where any of these individual stocks were actually going price-wise, I would not be sitting here.
There you go.
I'd be on my own island.
Cancun.
Be named after me.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if only we knew Apple back then was more than a fruit, we would have all been
Right,
just not sitting
1984,
here
we
today,
would have jumped on that and
We would
held
have.
it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But it doesn't work that way.
Not quite.
But there's been the evolution of this business from a product standpoint is, I got into the business in 93. And outside of the individual stock picking, everything was front-loaded mutual funds, right? What they call A shares in our industry. So if you had $100,000 and you wanted to buy one of these mutual funds, they would charge you at the time about 7.5% to get in it, which is a lot. That would not fly today.
Tanner, that would be a different fundraising opportunity. for
Yeah,
you,
tell me
wouldn't it?
about it. Oh my gosh.
We'll build your product. We'll get on this.
Yeah, we can start offering shares at Side Street. I think that's legal in Illinois. I don't know. Ask Erin. She knows more about that.
But the evolution today is those products still exist, of course. But ETFs, exchange traded funds, really became popular starting probably 2004, 5, 6. They really caught on. And as it turns out, there's a reason. One is they're far more tax efficient. And secondly, most of the ETFs track an index or they have an individual algorithm, although now we have actively managed exchange-traded funds just to make it all fun and muddy the waters. But when you don't have to pay a group of human beings to wake up, go to work, and try to buy things that rise in value, right?
Right.
When you eliminate those, it becomes far cheaper. So not only are they less expensive and more tax efficient, as it turns out, some 90% of these actively managed products don't outperform their index, which means 10% do. So it's not like that there's none.
But
However, right, if we're thinking about this logically, if 90% don't, well, I'm going to use a lot of these ETFs because tax efficient costs less. So that was one big evolution. And probably right around the same time, up until mid 2000s, there was really no such thing as fee-based planning. Everything was on a commission basis. Right, so you'd call if you were a client of mine, right? We'd buy this fund or that stock, and every time we'd make a move, there would be a commission, right? So not shockingly, when you incent an entire industry to only generate revenue by buying and selling things, a lot of them bought and sold too many things, right? Which we call churning on our industry, which is a big no-no. Don't do that. So we try very hard, and I'm not the only one. This is the way most of the industry is now, is when you do it on a fee-based basis, right, which is based on the amount of assets that you have. That's generally how this works. Well, this is beautiful because now everybody's rowing in the same direction.
right.
Obviously, you want your account value to go up. Well, now I want the account value to go up. Jones wants the account value to go up. So from an overall industry perspective, that works far better than doing it the commission-wise. So that was probably the most significant change in our industry in the last 25 years.
Interesting. Well, it is. There are a lot of products out there, and to have an investment broker is certainly important to do. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk more with Rick Poole from Edward Jones and Tanner Melvin with Side Street Studio Arts.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by KFC. Former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson is serving a 20-year sentence for the 2024 fatal shooting of Sonia Massey at an undisclosed location. The Illinois Department of Corrections confirms he is in custody but will not reveal where, citing security concerns. Illinois lawmakers are pushing legislation that would require school districts to give all eligible graduating seniors the opportunity to register to vote. If approved, the requirement would take effect in time for the 2026-2027 school year. An Illinois Education Association survey finds growing concern about school funding, teacher pay, and immigration enforcement near schools. Most respondents say teachers are underpaid and support more funding, while a majority oppose ICE arrests in their communities. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Welcome to downtown Elgin, where businesses, community, and creativity come together. The Downtown Neighborhood Association provides valuable, complimentary services to all downtown businesses, organizations, property owners, and residents, helping you gain exposure and thrive. Whether you're already part of the district or exploring a new downtown location, DNA is here to help your vision grow. Join us in creating a vibrant, connected, and successful downtown Elgin. Call now 847-488-1456, or you can email info@downtownelgin.com. As for Jennifer Facala, Downtown Neighborhood Association, where the heart of business beats strong.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Today, mostly cloudy with a high near 40. A chance of rain showers this afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 22. A slight chance of rain showers. Looking ahead to Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 33. Currently, it's 25 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back, folks, to the Elgin Chamber Chat here on WRMN. We are on the second half of the segment here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today and being a part of this conversation here on WRMN for Elgin's Chamber Chat.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Well, we're so glad to be back, and I do want to welcome some new chamber members who've joined us over the last month. Advanced Moving and Storage in Bensonville has come on board. Katingo Engraving down in South Elgin. Freddie and his family are a part of it. Tovey Manufacturing, Flexible Benefit Services, LLC, Monticello Advisors, Smart IT Solutions, and Ramos Tax and Services, because it's that time of year that we all start thinking about taxes and how we can support our local and national government. So
That's a nice way to put it.
Well, I was trying to be careful about it.
To support them.
Oh, they need all of our support.
Oh my gosh,
think that
we are
support
not
is
going there
mandatory.
in this
Yep.
radio program. I'm telling you now.
Mandatory support.
Mandatory
go.
support.
Like that.
We are looking forward to our annual meeting reception next Wednesday evening, March 4th, and I would like to share with you a little bit about what we're doing. This is honoring members, partners, communities working with us because of their trust, engagement, and support. We're going to celebrate 2025 and what we were able to accomplish. More so, though, we're going to be proud. We are proud to be recognizing outstanding businesses and individuals for all of their support that they give us. So the awards this year are going to Dan and Karen Fox. We've named them Citizens of the Year. They've been incredible in helping many, many not-for-profits over decades in this community. The Leadership Award to Elgin Mayor David Captain for his leadership with businesses in the community. Our Community Partner Award is going to Elgin Community College. Of course, they're building their new manufacturing center, which will be open in September. We've been in discussions with them for years on this project. Tony Lusenko, my colleague, has been part of that as well. So we look forward to that recognition. Small Business Award is going to Cross Kicks Fitness in South Elgin to Jesse and his partner. We are just really excited. They have made such a difference in celebrating 5 years already in the community. So we're going to say thank you to them. A Large Business Award to the Karis Restaurant Group. Bobby and that entire team with all the different restaurants and in this area have been incredible supporters of our Elgin Area Chamber, so we're glad to recognize them. Volunteer of the Year is going to Denise Rowley with Gale Borden Public Library. Of course, Denise has announced her retirement, and we want to celebrate her and all that she's contributed to our area and to our chamber. The Elgin Development Group Business Development Award is going to Faber-Castell Cosmetics. They are relatively new in the community and expanding already. So if you, as some of our listeners are out there and are using some of the eyeliners and mascaras, this is the company that is providing those to major brands across the country, actually internationally as well. So Faber-Castell, we're excited to recognize them. And our Entrepreneur of the Year is to Daria with Desserts Without Regrets. I know that Matt had a chance to meet with her, and Daria is a home baker and has just done an extraordinary job, so we're going to recognize her as well. That's next Wednesday night, March 4th. If you're interested, you can go to our website, elginchamber.com, and register there. If you're interested in any of our economic development information, elgindevelopment.com. Thanks to my colleague Terry Gajewski, who manages our websites and has done just a fantastic job in making sure that they're easy to access that information. We have about 60,000 people, not hits, 60,000 people coming into our website every year with elginchamber.com looking for local businesses. That's the page that they go to most often. So Terry makes sure that she can help people navigate easily through that. So thanks to my team. They're just incredible to work with, and Margarita as well for all that she does to help our members, and Linda Siete as well. So anyway, on to the show, back to the show. We had a great conversation during break with Rick Poole, who's with Edward Jones Investment, and with Tanner Melvin, who's Executive Director of Side Street Studio Arts. So such a diverse conversation today, and that's what's so much fun about all of this. You know, these guys wouldn't have met had it not been for our show today, but it is really interesting to talk about what's happening. So Tanner, you're celebrating, you know, Side Street Studio Arts and all of the activity that are associated. So you talked about March, but you have programs going on all of the time.
Yes, we have. We have programming running basically 11 months out of the year. January is typically a month where we kind of reset and we work on programming. We work on design and infrastructure for the organization. That doesn't mean that we won't host events, but it just means we're trying to host less, basically. But yeah, we have open mics, we have improv jams, we have a number of different events that we host monthly, annually, biannually. So, I mean, we do a lot, right?
You do. And in the space that you're at, you talked earlier about your 13th anniversary is there, but your 14th anniversary hopefully will be where?
Yeah, hopefully by next year, this time we will be located in our new facility at 62 South Grove Avenue, which is, if you know, it's just down the street from WRMN, and it's just around the corner from where we are currently. We wanted to stay in downtown Elgin. We knew we weren't going to do anything as an organization without staying down here. We toyed with South Elgin. We toyed with going up further north because we've been through some issues with landlords and with, COVID, right? We thought if we were going to go fully mobile at one point, we didn't really know. But we work with an organization, a foundation, the Reva and David Logan Foundation out of Chicago, and we've been working with them for a number of years and been discussing a new building for a number of years, and then 4 years ago, it's been 4 years, they purchased the building for us, and we have been since then. Which I thought we'd be up and running in a couple of years, but the president, Richard Logan, he was like, Tanner, it'll take 5 to 6 years. I'm like, all right. But he was absolutely right. But the past 6 months, we've had the most movement we've had in 4 years on this project. We've been through a number of things, again, coming right out of COVID, banking issues, finance issues, just organizational issues. And now we are at a point where we are getting ready to apply for permitting and start demo. And
very exciting.
It is. It doesn't seem real. And because I've just been sleeping on it. It's the way it feels, but it's not vaporware. I promise you, everyone listening and everyone watching, we're coming for you. It's going to be great. The idea, it'll take, for phase 1, it'll be 8 to 10 month build out. We'll hopefully be open by this Christmas. That's fingers crossed.
Yes.
No promises, but then we will begin immediately on phase 2, which will be our basement floor, which will be our education area, and then our second floor, which will be performance space, primarily performance space, and then our rooftop. So it's it's very exciting.
Very, very exciting.
Is that where your 14 party is going to be, on the rooftop?
4th of July parties are going to be up there. Pride parties are going to be up there.
Tanner's birthday.
Yes, my birthday.
My birthday. Now that we've met, I thought.
Yeah. Yep. You want a party? Let's go on the rooftop.
There you go.
Great.
Well, it's very exciting to see. I remember you've been so gracious in opening for our Open Elgin, so people could come in and look at the beautiful building with nothing in it, but ready with the plans just right there and ready to go. So you've been doing some fundraising and just a lot of opportunities coming together to make to fruition in order for this to happen, which is really lovely.
Absolutely. We're lucky enough to be in a TIF district in our downtown, and City of Elgin has been amazing from day one on that. And I would like to reiterate that, but I would also like to tell anyone thinking of working with the city on TIF funding within the TIF boundaries, go for it. It's a lot of work on everyone's part. It's like, the organization, the business, and or the city. Mark Malott at Community Development has been just outstanding, and I say that because I believe it. It's not just for the radio. It's not just for the YouTube, but we are very fortunate to live in the city and to have the support of the city of Elgin, and it's going to change a lot in this downtown once we open.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And the city is wonderful to work with, not only in the TIF districts, and there's a number of them in the community, but throughout the community. The staff in the community development, all of the staff with the city of Elgin are just so wonderful to work with. We work with them regularly through our Elgin Development Group, bringing in project after project. If it's a small one, it can be a large one, but they just are very professional and are always supporting businesses. And that takes some leadership at the top to make sure that happens. And we appreciate the mayor and the city council for taking those, making their inroads and making sure that the process to bring businesses and keep businesses here is very, very simple. So talking about taking jumps and working, Rick, I don't know how else to transition to this, but here's a guy, Tanner, you know the financial side, and Matt, the financial side of this guy who's a certified financial planner, but he's also got a little bit of craziness in him. Is that right? Well, that's my interpretation. I don't know. I was probably
you are not the first one to say that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy goes jumping and flying. And tell us a little bit about, Rick, what you do in your spare time, or is it you work in your spare time and this is what you do in your full time?
There you go.
Is that the way it is?
Angel's like, yeah, that's it.
I think that's right.
Well, here's the short background. So I was telling Tanner this during the break, or all of you during the break, that I grew up singing and acting. So that was my background, and I did it all the way through college. And then I saw what real talent looked like, and I'm like, well, maybe sales. Maybe we'll go do that. And so I did nothing athletic until I was 33 years old. A friend of mine convinced me to run the Chicago Marathon with him.
Out of the blue. So it was just like, oh, let's go run the Chicago Marathon.
So it was a very good friend of mine to this day, Brian Hansen. At the time, this is why I said yes. At the time, he was 180 pounds of muscle tucked into a 260-pound body, right? So when he said he's going to run the marathon, I'm like, there's no way he's going to run a marathon. So I'm like, hey, I'll do it with you, thinking he'd quit. He did not. So we ended up doing it together. And I remember this is kind of where this whole thing started, is I'm standing there at Buckingham Fountain, downtown Chicago, legs shivering and quaking because I just run 26.2 miles. And I remember having this thought. I'm like, I had no idea I could do that. And my very next thought was, I wonder what else I can do. And so it led to this.
How natural that is.
Yeah. Well, that's literally what went through my head.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I could do that. I wonder what else I could do. And so to shorten this thing up, because we could do it for a long time, is I ran a bunch of different marathons, and then I got bored of that, and that transitioned into triathlons. Did a bunch of those, and then eventually that led to adventure racing, which is a hoot and a half, by the way. If you like being cold and mountain biking and kayaking and orienteering all day long.
What do you think, Matt?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I could do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you could absolutely do it. This is like, and then from there, you just have to want to, right?
Yep.
And then from there, it eventually led to mountains, right, which started in Colorado. And then, as I do typically, I'm like, well, that was a lot of fun. Wonder what else I can do. So I kept doing that. Ultimately, that led to summiting Everest in 2019, which is not a journey I would recommend, having done it. However, so that was, I was gone for 66 days to do that.
Did it take much convincing to do that, to decide to do that? Or did you immediately say, yep, there's a quest, I want it?
It wasn't immediate. So I mapped it out. Because after I climbed a few mountains in Colorado, I'm like, all right, let's see what this whole Everest thing looks like. And you can't just get off your couch and go do Everest.
No.
And so it was 8 years, 8-step process. And I figured, because there were big steps, climbing other mountains, learning how to, technically getting trained to climb a big mountain like that. And I just went one step at a time. I said, as soon as I don't like this, I'll just go do something else.
I'll just turn around.
Right? Yeah, I'll just turn around. I'll stop. And obviously, I thoroughly enjoyed every step, although there were some serious challenges involved along the way. But, so Everest was a big deal for me. And then after that, that's when I kind of got into the let's go skydiving, let's do paramotoring. I'd always loved scuba diving, so I continue to do that as well. So, yeah, a lot of different things. It's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Keeps me busy. My knees are paying for it now.
So Everest, you're one of how many people who have successfully climbed that?
About 5,000.
Extraordinary.
It's a journey. Most of it is very, very cool. It's a cool place to hang out. 10% of it is outright terrifying. Because you have, in certain places on that mountain, even though you are clipped to a rope, like on the ridge line going to the summit on summit day, if you step a foot to your left, you're falling 8,000 feet back into Nepal. That's the express train back to Camp 2. And if you go a foot to your right, you are dropping 12,000 feet into Tibet. And you're walking on this ridge line for, that day, because there was a lot of people up there, half an hour, 40 minutes, where you just, this way 8,000 feet, that way 12,000 feet. So, yeah, if you don't like heights, I would not recommend that journey.
It's just stunning. Stunning that you were able to achieve that.
Yeah, well, what Matt said a minute ago, like I couldn't do that. I'm like, well, you probably could do that. I think it was about marathons, but after I got done with Everest, and that's where I was on GN, that's what I was doing down there. I went on a little speaking circuit all over the place, high schools, Boy Scouts, all sorts of different places. And that was a common thing. It's like, I could never do that. I'm like, no, you probably could. But like with most things, like what the body can do is extraordinary. You can do way more than you think. But you really have to want to do it, right? If you don't want to do it, then, yeah. It's a much healthier way to think, I think. Like, I don't want to do that. All right, that's cool. Right? As opposed to I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I think, quite frankly, most things we probably can do. So,
Well, that's extraordinary. So, so from mountain climbing, then you went into.
well, after the mountain series so Everest was kind of the end of the whole adventure, like beat the heck out of my body series. Because, I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. So doing the marathons, it takes a toll. And now my left knee is very angry. But so the idea was to get all of that done by age 50. Because I know there was a reality to how long you can do this. And so the next project after that was I got certified to skydive, which was an I did that in Rochelle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about the process. And as it turns out, the Rochelle, Chicago Land Skydiving, I think is what it's called, is they have one of the best jump sites on planet Earth. I had no idea. I just went because it was the closest to my house, right? So they did a great job, but I was out there for the better part of 3 weeks, maybe a month. You have to do 25 jumps, the first few with a certified instructor. I mean, there's always an instructor, but you're actually harnessed to them for the first couple jumps. But jump 3, they just toss you out of the airplane. Like, you're on your own.
I can't think of a better thing to do on a Tuesday afternoon. How about you, Tanner?
I'd love to try it. Nope.
Yet?
No, I have.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have my own experiences that I've have to figure out. So, but
Skydiving
is definitely not going to be one of them.
It's intense. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, I will tell you, I went to Northern Illinois University, and that was very popular for students and at NIU to go jump out of Rochelle because it was so close by.
Yeah, sure.
I chose not to do that, but many chose to do that. And again, admire people who have that capacity and interest in doing so. Not my bag.
It's an experience. It's great to spend a day.
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of a better way, Rick. So then, and this isn't only you. I mean, you have daughters. I remember talking.
You have 2 daughters, 22 and 20. Yep.
And you kind of instilled in them the ability to do what they care to do as well.
100%. So Sydney, she's 22. She's now at the University of Virginia. She would come with me to the skydive center. She didn't get certified, but she jumped, 3 or 4 times during the time I was training. And she was also with me on the journey up to Everest Base Camp. Because once you get to Kathmandu in Nepal, and then you fly into this town called Lukla, which is the most dangerous airport in the world, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Sure.
It's part of this entire escapade.
So she was with me. So she hiked with me the 11 days it takes to go up to base camp. And then that was as far as she went, but still pretty cool journey for her. And to this day, she has taken up rock climbing, which Daddy does not do. I do not do vertical. That's where I'm drawing the line, not doing that. But she loves it. So she is quite the adventurous spirit.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's great. And Tanner, how about you? And do you like vertical challenges or horizontal challenges, or where are you at with your challenge?
I rock climbed for a long time.
Did you?
And then I worked out in Utah at Dead Horse Point State Park. I was out there for a summer and got to mountaineer and enjoy Utah. And so
must have been spectacular.
It absolutely was. It's
Landscape's a little bit different than our cornfields here, huh?
Yeah, seriously. Growing up here, I'm like, I wonder if I could do that. And I did. And it was, I mean, nothing crazy by any means, but it was something that really opened me up to being able to, again, test my limits and get back up after you fall or after you snap, and it's gorgeous. But it's
a great name for a town too. Dead Horse
Point State Park. Shout out.
Yes.
Really encouraging you to get out there and enjoy the nature, huh?
Yeah, it's one of those things I didn't expect, and I got lucky enough to be connected with a student that was working out there at the time. Was part of Western Illinois University's Recreation Parks and Tourism Administration. They've retitled themselves now, but I think their hospitality is added into that now. But yeah, I got connected, and they hired me, and I was older. I was 32 at the time, I think, and just one of those things. It reshaped my life. Experiential education and outdoor education, and being around geographers and geologists and topographers and nature, in nature in general. It was absolutely amazing. So
That sounds cool.
yeah. The United States is amazing. I highly recommend anyone who you don't have to travel to Nepal. It would help to be able to see the world like that, but I always tell people, I think we are so lucky with our interstate system that we have here. Everything is accessible to a point,
That's
and
a good
then
point.
you get into four-wheeling and everything, and you can take different trips, and people, and you can go out on rims and drive and experience the United States in a way that not everyone is able to do. But that being said, there's so much to experience that is super accessible.
Well, I think too, being in the Midwest like this, it
Yeah.
makes it so much easier because we can go to those coasts and we can see what's happening there and not have to travel 8 or 9 hours.
I agree.
From, seaside to seashore.
Illinois
in order to
itself
do it.
is, I've been researching more in the past few years, and I didn't know that there's so much outdoor activity and in Illinois in particular, like Garden of the Gods and down in LaSalle, Peru area, even Southern Illinois. It's pretty great.
Yeah. A lot right outside our front door. There's no doubt about
sure.
it. So, Rick, with a couple of minutes left, so what's the next challenge? Have you got something that you're stewing and brewing about, or are we waiting for this left knee to get a little bit
It's
better?
not going to get better. Time and gravity is taking its toll. No, so I actually have a list that I built when I was 32, 33, that I got out of a book I read called The Power of Focus. And as it turns out, this list changed my life. So the challenge in the book was simply make a list of everything you want to do or have, right? And that's actually what I call it, because I'm really unoriginal like that, I guess. So it's everything I ever want to do or have. And the first time you sit down to do something like that, it was looking back on it, I kind of laughed at myself because I just stared at a blank piece of paper for like 6 hours. Like, I don't even know where to begin this thing. But once it gets rolling, it got filled up. So, and I change it whenever I want to. Sometimes I'll look at the list. I'm like, that's a terrible idea. Let's take that. I don't know what I was thinking. But everything's on that list, from pushing my girls when they were little on the swing, like never say no to that, walk them to school every day, all the way to things like, the CFP or Everest. And so that list exists today. Long-winded way to answer your question. With the exception of the running with the bulls, which is on there, which will get done.
Really?
Slowly. Eddie doesn't run so well anymore, but
Well, hopefully the bulls are slow that day too.
Right.
I'll take a shot or something that day into my knee. But most of it's travel, thankfully.
Yes.
Like all the big physical difficulty things have been done. All of the really risky, which people would say crazy, whether it's skydiving, scuba diving, all that stuff. And I still paramotor. I have a blast doing that. But most of that is in the rear view.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, very exciting to hear about the challenges that we all look at and the businesses that we have. Again, my thanks today to Rick Poole, Edward Jones Investments in South Elgin. Thanks for being with us. Tanner Melvin, Executive Director of Side Street Studio Arts, and Aaron Rayberg doing a marvelous job there. I think we are out of time. Is that right,
We are,
man?
yes.
Well, thank you very much for having us again. And we look forward to speaking to you in March. And thanks for being with us today. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you both.
Thanks,
Matt.
guys, so much.
Of course. Stay tuned for more local programming here on WRMN.